Hey, what's going on, YouTube? So if you watched my last video, you might know that I'm just recently back from vacation. I got back a little earlier today at the time I'm recording this. I left last Sunday, and when I left, my KvK was over. Now, you might remember this is a particularly cursed KvK. Basically, at this point on Sunday, we had gotten into the Dragon Zone ED, but we had been, pretty summarily ejected from it. We had shifted our attention to taking the Hydra from Sheesh in Zone 2. You get a little bit better compendium rewards. Really just sort of a backup plan here. And quite frankly, Sheesh didn't really oppose us. They were focused elsewhere. So we were able to take that. We're out of, the Dragon Zone. Our ally NXW was still in the Dragon Zone, but it was a 1-on-3 at that point. So we, hey, good luck, guys. You did great, but this KvK is probably over. Time to start working on next season, making some changes if we need to. I'm going on vacation. See you guys in a few days. All right. And then I come back and all hell is broken loose. Honestly, this might be one of the most cursed KvKs of all time. I've been living through it, from the front lines. I'll tell you exactly what I know, right? So before the season even begins, right, the matchup comes out and we do Diplo. You might recall we ended up deciding Diplo based on a wheel spin. And the teams were BNR, TFS, and Sheesh versus NXW, WG, and ED, right? But before even the season starts, WG withdraws from our alliance and declares free for all. So at this point, it's a 3-on-2-on-1. Hey, look, we're realistic. Hey, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna make the best of it. But like the Dragon's not gonna be competitive. We go through the season. We mostly fight BNR in Zone 2. They win the Zone 2. In Zone 3, we get double invaded from BNR to our left and Sheesh to our right. Like I said, we managed to hold on to get into the Dragon Zone, but we were getting pushed pretty hard. NXW basically turned to fight Sheesh. They won the Zone 2 fight there. They got into the Dragon Zone, no problem. But at this point, they're holding on against BNR and Sheesh and TFS. So what happens, when I'm gone? The BNR, TFS, and Sheesh alliance essentially break up. Now, I've seen the screenshots of the conversation between Mia, she's the BNR R5, and Jason G, he's the TFS R5. But hey, I don't know any of the context. I haven't seen any of the other discussions either before that or after that. I don't know the full reason here, but obviously the bottom line is that BNR withdraws from that alliance and basically goes to war with TFS and Sheesh. At this point, NXW is still in the Dragon Zone. But hey, they're still our ally. So, of course, we immediately start building back to the zone. Like, it's effectively BNR is attacking Sheesh and TFS. They're not really concerned with us. NXW is fighting TFS and Sheesh, and we're on our way. Okay, so the other player here is WG. There was some agreement or some reconciliation, and they've basically joined TFS and Sheesh at this point. And so we effectively have a 3-on-3 at this point, right? BNR and NXW and ED, hey, we're all working together, and TFS and Sheesh and WG, they're all working together. And like I said, I was on vacation for most of this. I don't have the deep insight, but that's where we're at right now. So what used to be like a fait accompli for the Dragon Zone, it's contested again. You can see that NXW currently has the Dragon, but there's still a bunch of days left. Still could go a bunch of different ways. I'm only going to tell you how I saw this from ED's perspective. I'm not going to rehash the whole thing with WG at the beginning. That's, water under the bridge. That's long since happened. In terms of the final zone here, like I said, NXW has always been our ally this season. We'll never break an alliance. We'll never betray a faith like that. But once this became competitive again, like 100%, we're going to do everything we can to help out our ally. This is kind of our philosophy in ED. Okay, so where did I go? Well, we went to Mammoth Cave National Park, which is in southern Kentucky, sort of the southern eastern portion of the United States. Mammoth Cave is actually the largest cave system that's known in the world. But the thing about Mammoth Cave right now is you can't go into Mammoth Cave. Not to get into either even more drama politics, but the U.S. government's kind of closed down at the moment. And among the services that closed down are a lot of the like tours and accesses to national parks. And so we couldn't go into Mammoth Cave. Now, thankfully, the place we were staying, it's sort of like a private enterprise. We stayed in a very nice cabin. So we were able to stay there and explore the area. We went on a bunch of really nice hikes. We actually visited a nearby private cave called Diamond Cave, and that was kind of fun. It was a fun time, but of course, if you're going to go to Mammoth Cave National Park, you kind of want to go into Mammoth Cave. So, oh well, we made the most of it. It was a bunch of fun. Okay, so obviously I'm back. Looking forward to the rest of my KvK. Looking forward to producing regular content for the channel again. You should expect regular updates going forward. A couple things. Now, first, in my last video, I kind of made a meme about redheads, and somehow I managed to ignore Kella here, which honestly is a travesty, and I'm sorry. I don't know how I missed the most obvious redhead of them all, or at least the second most obvious behind Lilia. I'm sorry, Kella. I'm sorry, Kella supporters. Obviously, that's another redhead to add to the tally. The other thing to point out is that I am starting a new job in November. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to impact my ability to produce content going forward. I suspect I might have to move down to 2 videos a week instead of 3. But I still intend to keep the channel going, still intend to keep playing, still having a lot of fun in the game. And hey, that's all I got for you today. And until next time, you stay classy, Belleron.